This video is a video of a Mercury C pump pickup impeller replacement. We'll be taking this pump off this motor and showing you how to replace the impeller and how we actually get it in the body without damaging it. Very simple process. The hose is still on the pump right now, feeds your water pump, and the other one here is your pickup going out to your outdrive. Alright, we've gotten the pump out of the boat. And we leave the bracket on and the front pulley on, and what we do is make a couple marks here with the silver Sharpie, so that way it's not all go back the same way. And part of our tool that we use for disassembling and assembling is a good old armor hole. And you're just going to spray it inside here. And I've already sprayed it earlier, and I should have let you hear it. You can barely hear it now. Before I sprayed it, it was very noisy. And we just kind of move this around to get that armor on there to lubricate that old pump. And we're also going to use it when we install a new pump. That lubricates it to help pull the pump out. And so we're just going to rotate this. If yours is frozen and it won't rotate, just get a wrench or breaker bar through here and just crack it loose and get it moving with that lubricant in there, and it'll move just fine. If you're not sure which way it rotates, on the back of the pump here, it has an arrow on there that tells you which way it rotates, and you can look inside here and look at which way the propellers are folded back to know which way to rotate it. So move it inside there, nice and quiet now. You get that armor in there, lubricate it all up, help it all come apart. When you're pulling it apart, make sure you loosen this nut and hold that one from spinning, and these nuts have to come off first. And after you take those 3 nuts off, then these bolts will screw out. And also, before you take all the bolts off, you want to loosen up the nuts in the back, and then crack all these loose before it all comes apart. And then finish taking off your nuts, and then pull everything else off to get it off the pump body. Okay, here we are removing the pump out of the body. You shouldn't need pliers to pull this out. You just comes off your shaft. You can see the armor all that's kind of falling out of there. So we just put it back on. And after we get it back on, we're going to rotate the body to get the pump to come out. As you can kind of see, it just works out real easy with that armor on there. It comes right off, nice and easy. Here's our new impeller that we'll be replacing. It's in a sealed bag. So here we have a very large zip tie. It's about 1/4 inch wide, quite long, as you can kind of see in this video. Hard to see it there, but and we're going to wrap it around here, and I'll show you how we'll fold all the blades over to help get it in the body easier. Starting to pull it down and tight on it. As we're tightening them up, you can kind of start seeing the blades starting to bend over, and we'll be doing that around the whole impeller. As you see, I've been working it real slow. You just suck it up, bend them around, suck it up, bend them around a little more, and you continue doing this until you get it to start looking like this, and you'll be able to install it into the pump body. Okay, so now we've gotten the zip tie on this. Now this is a very heavy-duty zip tie to hold this in place. And we're going to take, still, I haven't put any more armor all back on this. We're going to take this and make sure you look at the rotation, which way the pump's going to rotate. So we have the arrow here, so we have our fins going the right way, or on an impeller. I'll start here on the bottom and just kind of push these so they kind of just hop inside here. And we get to there. Now we're basically in, and what we'll do is we can just kind of slide in a little bit more, cut the zip tie, and push it in, and spray a little armor on it to give it lubrication. And here we are, just pushing it back, pushing it all the way in. And then we can just kind of pull our zip tie out of here. Sometimes you can cut them and get them out, or you can just do this. And remember to check your pump body for any wear marks on it that you have to replace the pump body. Okay, now we've put armor on the pump. Put it back on your shaft like you did earlier. And what we do is just kind of rotate it again until the pump seats inside the body. After it seats inside the body, we're going to bring this pump around so our marks all line up together, and then we'll be bolting it all back together. Here's the pump back together, and it's all together. We'll just go ahead and rotate it. You see it rotates very easily, and if you had put the impeller in wrong, if you rotate it their way, it'd flop around, but I always recommend put it in the correct way. And you can see with the arm all in there, it rotates real nice and easy. You put it back in the engine, it'll have this lubricant on there, so when you fire it up, it won't fire up dry. And that way you won't damage the impeller. And I didn't go over talking about replacing the O-rings. I just mainly talked about this impeller because I know it's how difficult it is for people to change out, trying to get it back in the housing.